So we're going to get started in 1 minute. This would be a good time for everybody to silence your cell phones. Put them in do not disturb, vibrate, off, whatever mode you use to not make sound. That'd be great. So we're going to get started in just a minute. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Feeding San Diego. We're really glad to have you here for our Fuel for Summer kickoff press conference. We're joined by some very distinguished guests today who you're going to be hearing from individually, and I'll introduce them, but I just want to extend a very special welcome to them from the whole Feeding San Diego family. Steve Weatherford, who's with us, is a member of the Super Bowl champion New York Giants football team and is a longtime advocate and champion of hunger relief, and we're really honored that he would join us here today to share a few thoughts about the issue. Chef Angelo Sosa is here from Bravo's Top Chef, and Angelo has participated with Feeding San Diego in numerous ways and is joining us today to speak from his profession and views on hunger. Greg Keller is here from Garden Fresh Restaurants. Garden Fresh is a San Diego success story. You may know them as Soup Plantation. The first restaurant was on Fairmont and Mission Gorge in San Diego and Mission Valley. And it's grown now to be a national chain with about 100 restaurants throughout the South and the West. And Garden Fresh, through their Soup Plantation and Sweet Tomatoes brands, is a national partner of the Feeding America Network, but is particularly committed to helping Feeding San Diego, their hometown. Also with us is Dana Hayden and Emily Horowitz, coming to us from Julian Pathways. Julian is a remote rural community here in San Diego County, and Julian Pathways is doing some extraordinarily innovative things to combine hunger relief with nutrition education and community service. And so we're really honored to have Dana and Emily here to talk about that. So we welcome you to Feeding San Diego. This distribution center is the hub of a very robust food rescue and distribution organization that feeds 63,000 San Diegans each week. Last year, this organization was responsible for providing 25.2 million meals to the San Diego community, and 98% of the food that you see behind me is food that would otherwise go to waste. It is food that would go to the landfill. It is food that would contribute, frankly, to global warming, because putting organic material in a landfill generates methane gas. So we're avoiding an environmental catastrophe while solving a humanitarian catastrophe by taking food that is already in our county every day that would go to waste and getting it to families in need across the county. We do that in partnership with 150 local charities and faith institutions who participate in food distribution to their communities. We also operate 100 locations on our own, where we directly serve the community using Feeding San Diego staff and volunteers. So that's 250 locations across the entirety of San Diego County where delicious, healthy, nutritious food is being delivered to the community. And I really want to accentuate that point about nutrition, because our mission isn't just to feed people, our mission is to nourish people. It's not enough to end hunger. We want to create a healthy San Diego community, and we do that by putting a special emphasis on produce. 72% of the grocery products that go through this facility are fruits and vegetables, and that's an important statement about our commitment to nourishing the community. We are extraordinarily challenged because the recent study that we released 2 weeks ago shows that in San Diego County, 1 out of every 8 residents is dealing with food insecurity. That's over 400,000 people that just aren't sure where their next meal is going to come from, and the problem is particularly acute when it comes to children. 1 out of every 6 children in our county is food insecure. 1 out of every 6 children. That's 127,000 kids, and it's across the county. It's not just kids in one neighborhood. It's Poway, it's Scripps Ranch, it's Vista, it's San Ysidro, it's El Cajon, it's Julian. And across this county, there are kids who are struggling with this issue. The problem gets more pronounced when summertime comes because many of these youth have access to school meals. And that school breakfast or that school lunch is oftentimes the only meal they'll get that day, or it is certainly the only balanced and nutritious meal they're going to get that day. But then school lets out for the summer. And when summer comes, hunger comes. And so one of the major goals of this organization is to fill that summer gap with healthy, nutritious food for kids who rely on school lunches and can't get them when school is out. So today we're promoting and announcing our Fuel for Summer campaign. Our goal for San Diego County is to provide over 1 million meals to youth during the summer months of 2018. And these individuals to my right have gathered together with Feeding San Diego in support of this mission, and I'd like to invite them individually to come up and say a few words. And to start us off, let me introduce, again, former New York Giant, Super Bowl champion, Steve Weatherford.
Excited to be a part here. Excited to be here today. Excited to have an opportunity to share this table with people that are goal achievers, they're high achievers, they're motivators in their industry, but they are leveraging their blessings and their hard work and their perseverance and their sacrifice to impact other people. And for me and my family and my wife who joined me today and my 5 children who have no idea how blessed that they are, you know, it's important for me to not only tell them, you know, it's important to implore kindness and empathy and generosity and selflessness, but it's another thing to actually let your children see you involved, showcasing those traits. And so for me to be able to make my family a part of this and for them to be able to walk up to somebody who's twice their age, but does not have the blessings, the financial blessings, and the fact that, you know, my children have 2 parents in their home, and when they come home, they're not worried about anything else other than, you know, what game are we playing when we get home? Are we in the swimming pool? Or are we out riding our bikes? And the sad reality is that's normal for them, but that's not normal life for everyone. And for these kids, these 127,000 kids that are just in this localized area that are not only underserved, they're malnutrition. You know, we expect our educational system and our government and our community step up and change it. But, you know, that only happens if the individuals come together that are like-minded, you know, like these individuals that achieve great things, whether that's entertaining somebody or educating somebody or empowering somebody. They've taken their gifts and they're leveraging them to positively impact other people. So I consider myself incredibly fortunate, blessed to share this stage with them, but at the same time, just encouraging you guys that took, you know, the most precious commodity that you have in your life, and that is your time, and you're sacrificing it to be here with us on our mission to impact other people and help kids have an actual opportunity and a chance at being up here one day and doing the same thing that we're doing, because along our journey, I never met these people in my life. I know them, their reputation precedes them, but I guarantee you along their journey to greatness, people poured into them. People showed them kindness and empathy and compassion, and that's why I'm blessed to be here, and that's why I'm very fortunate to be alongside them, alongside you all, and all for a common cause to leave an impact and change somebody else's life, which in turn we hope changes a multitude of lives as well. So I just want to thank you guys for allowing me to be here. I want to thank Allison Glatter for getting me involved and my family involved a few years ago, and there's no place I'd rather be today in this moment than right now, so thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Well, very well said. Next, I would like to introduce you to Bravo's top chef, and as I mentioned before, somebody who has done so much to help Feeding San Diego in so many ways, and this is just the latest chapter in a long book of service. So please join me in welcoming Chef Angelo Sosa.
How are you? Good morning. I didn't know I'd be up here speaking today, but thank you. I'm just really very humbled and very grateful, so thank you for having me here. I am a chef, and I spent a lot of my life focused on me, focused on my vision, focused on my dreams, focused on creativity, focused on a dish, and focused on just creating from my gifts. And I realized the key to success, one is what I believe is humility, but I think more importantly is giving back. So going through my transformation of being a chef and focusing on myself, I realized giving back is focusing on others, and I think there's a lot of power in that. And from a food perspective, I realize we are what we eat, and that really just hits home for me, because it just breaks my heart and inspires me at the same time to think that these children are going on their summer breaks I just imagine many memories of the childhood, of the excitement as a kid, to thinking of summer memories of jumping in a pool or playing kickball or whatever the kids choose to do. But just to think that there's no food on the table and no food in the fridge that they could just easily choose to go in and just have a snack or whatever, really just kind of breaks my heart. So I'm just really enthralled, excited that we could be here today and we can empower people to so sorry, I'm just very moved, excuse me. Thank you. Yeah, just getting back to what we are, what we eat, and these kids just, departing for their summer break and not knowing where their next meal is going to be really impacts me. And I know that today, not only myself, but all of us together, compounded together, can make a difference. And yeah, just hearing, I moved here from New York City about a year ago, and just hearing that San Diego has the second highest childhood hunger rate really just speaks very loudly to me. And I know that it really just empowers me to be aware and more conscious about my own decisions. And I'm just even thinking when I'm in the restaurant and we have family meal for the staff and there's extra, whether it's salad or it's rice or vegetables, and just the easy thought is, oh, let's put that in the garbage. But being a little bit more aware and more conscious about our decisions and knowing that our decisions compounded together, maybe my decisions alone, but the decisions of each and every single one of us, if we come together, magnify and compound and build this momentum and transformation, I think that's just really empowering. So this really speaks to my heart. I just feel so blessed that I could even be involved. And I just think that for me, not only is food sustenance, it's fuel, it's energy. I couldn't even imagine creating from a place of not even being focused. And I could just imagine putting myself in these children's lives of not only not knowing where their next meal is going to be, but not even being able to have food if they're not even be able to focus in school or focus at home or focus on their dreams. So imagine if they're eating this food and they're inspired, right? And for me, why I cook, I come from a very big family, and food for me is an expression of love. It's an expression of passion. And for me, I come from a big family, and food was really at the core of my family. So imagine food just not being at the core of your family or these families. So I couldn't even imagine that. So that's why I'm here today. And I'm just committed. I'm committed to seeing this through, and I'm committed to making a change, because every life does matter. Every child does matter. And it shouldn't be a coin toss where their next meal is going to be. I think, I'm just really excited and very grateful to be here. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Angelo. Very, very emotional and touching and on point and very relevant comments. Next, I'm going to invite Greg Keller, who is one of the founders, claims to be retired now. We see no evidence of that, from Garden Fresh Restaurants. But thanks to Greg's leadership, this San Diego, what was one restaurant, as I mentioned before, is now a national chain of restaurants. And from a San Diego business entrepreneurial standpoint, it's truly one of the best kept secrets of one of the biggest success stories coming out of our community. And we're going to try to make that less of a secret by highlighting the great work that they do, not just in providing nutrition to the community through their wonderful restaurants, but through their support of Feeding San Diego and the entire Feeding America network. Welcome, Greg.
Thank you. Yes, we are called Garden Fresh here. We're known as Soup Plantation. Outside of Southern California, we're sweet tomatoes. And we're in 97 cities across the United States. And we are absolutely thrilled to partner with Feeding San Diego as well as Feeding America. And I've made some notes here, and I thought I'd just share a little bit of our journey that we've gone on the last year and how we got here. Supporting 97 different cities that we have restaurants in has always been really important to us. The problem is we found that we were really spread out, and we needed some focus, and we needed to do some things that we could really get behind. In the past, reacted to local needs, but we said, you know, we need to do something bigger. And toward that end, last year we began looking for a national charity partner. And after an exhausting search, and frankly, I led this search, it was one of the things I did at the end of my tenure at the company. You know, we found a truly great partner in Feeding San Diego and Feeding America. It was amazing how many different wonderful groups I talked to, and yet it was very clear to me as soon as I met Vince and the team here that this was something special, and they were doing something that really nobody else was doing. They were really, really making a difference. It was very evident. Families are an important part of our business, and often children are the first introduced to dining out at either a soup plantation or a sweet tomatoes. Some of you in the room may remember as kids going to soup plantation. You know, I think everybody's had that experience. Understanding that 1 in 6 children in the United States are food insecure, which means 125,000 children in San Diego County, has given us a focus through Feeding America. Garden Fresh has the opportunity to not only raise funds, but our company team members can volunteer at the local Feeding America food banks. So this was really important. We have 4,000 employees. And as people found out what I was doing, that I was on this journey looking for a partner, I had so many come to me and say, Greg, whatever you do, we want to do more than just raise funds. We want to really contribute, and we want to be part of the community. We want to be part of whatever we do. And through our distribution centers, we have one in Atlanta and one at Riverside. We believe we can also help do some distribution of some of the products, some of the fresh products, and really make a difference. Lastly, I was so personally impressed with the passion and professionalism that all the team members of Feeding San Diego and Feeding America have demonstrated. You guys, it's been an incredible experience for me personally. It's touched the entire company. A lot of people have heard about, we were just beginning this journey, by the way, and a lot of people have heard about this. And I'm convinced that together we can make a real difference in the lives of food insecure families, not only here in San Diego, but across the United States. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Greg, and congratulations on your business success, but thank you for the kind words about the team here at Feeding San Diego. Lastly, I want to introduce you to Dana Hayden and Emily Horowitz, who come to us from Julian Pathways and Emily through Food Corp. Julian is an important rural community, and it's one of the small communities of, well, it's a very large community, but it's one of the unincorporated communities of eastern San Diego County. And across the mountains and into the desert portion of San Diego County, you have significant rates of food insecurity, particularly amongst seniors on fixed incomes, amongst kids from low-income households, people with disabilities, and we are struggling to meet the needs of those communities because they are what are known as food deserts. There aren't grocery stores. There aren't ready access to food that you have in the urban centers. I'm going to ask somebody to run around with motion-activated lights here. So we have a food desert situation in these rural communities, and by having people who are willing to serve those communities, to organize food pantries, to organize food distributions, it makes our work possible because we can't do what we do without volunteers on the ground. Well, what Dana and Emily have done is to take it to an entirely new level of professionalism by adding nutrition education, community outreach, and community service, and it's a very robust and rich model. and we have much to learn from them. So please join me in welcoming Dana Hayden and Emily Horowitz.
Good morning, everybody. So we are from Julian, so it is a very rural area out there. For us, Feeding San Diego very much is a life or death situation. We have families that live out in hollowed out trailers, that live out that are 45 minutes away from Julian itself out in the desert. It's very, very hard for them to get a hold of anything unless they get it from us or from Feeding San Diego. So that's why we're very happy about our partnership with them. 80% of our students are receiving a Friday food bag, which is the backpack program with Feeding San Diego. We have 200 kids, and we have 80 bags that are going out every Friday. And then to top that all off, 50% of our students, about that, is on the free and reduced lunch list. So we're kind of like a little hidden niche of poverty. People don't really think of that when they're looking at all of our pie shops and coming up to visit, but really the people that have been there generational, it's generational poverty. This year we've added a few different things. One of the things that we added was the food pantry. We decided that food insecurity doesn't ever stop, so we were only giving food during the school time system, and we didn't really like that model, so I changed it up. Now we do a pantry during the Thanksgiving break, during Christmas break. We do another during the spring break time, and then I try to do 3 or 4 pantries during the summertime, just so that way the kids always have some sort of food available to them at some point. Emily Horowitz is with us this year. She's our food corps member. We applied, Susie Jones, our director, applied for that, and we were so lucky to get Miss Emily. So I'm going to have her tell you a little bit more about what she does for us.
Thanks, Dana. So I'm Emily, food court. Oh, yep. Just wait for that airplane. Thanks. So food corps is an AmeriCorps program, so it's nationwide. There's about 225 of us throughout the country, and we go into underserved schools and try to connect kids to healthy food. So we teach hands-on lessons, which means I go into classrooms, teach kids about nutrition, how to make healthy choices at school and at home, and then we always do a taste test, so they know when Miss Emily's coming, they'll get some food. And that's kind of to increase exposure to different vegetables and fruits they might not have tried at home, or maybe that come through the Feeding San Diego food bank, such as spaghetti squash that we got last week. Second thing we do is we work in cafeterias to help kids make healthy choices at lunch and at snack, to show them that it is affecting you throughout the day and it's not just an at-home issue. And then the third thing is that we work to create a school-wide culture of health, so including teachers, working in the wellness policy, and healthy classroom celebrations. So it kind of ties everything together that they learn at school, and shows them that nutrition is really the basis of what they're learning, and it should be taught like a class. So that's why I'm here, and I've had the privilege of serving with Julian for the past year, and it's been really great to work with Dana and all the great resources they have, such as Feeding San Diego.
You're not done with us yet. No, we do a little bit more than that. Where Emily kind of stops is with the kids, and then we have another coordinator that works with us, which is our bilingual coordinator, Carmen Longoria. She then picks up with the parents. So we have a pretty large Hispanic community in town, and so Carmen works with those mommies, and she helps them to kind of come together with all the nutrition aspects. So a lot of them do use our pantry program and the Friday food bag program, the backpack program through Feeding San Diego. And a lot of the times they get things that they don't know what to do with. Like she was saying before with the spaghetti squash, that was a new one. A couple of our moms were like, okay, what do I do with this? So Carmen's going to be having classes over the next couple weeks to show them how to bake a spaghetti squash, how to prepare it, what different flavors go with it. So that way it's not just something that's going to go bad. It's something that they're going to utilize, and it's something that hopefully will be able to work in their regular, dietary time at home. So that way, not only will they be getting the education with the kids through us, but they'll also be getting the education at home too. And then finally, we're really, really excited because this year is our first time that we've done the summer meals program. Normally, we partner with our library up in Julian because we're not a big enough school to have our own library. Who thought? So we've been partnering with them for a long time, and at this point, we decided this year we were going to do our own summer program. So Emily and I are going to be doing meals for breakfast and for snacks with our students. So hopefully we'll be able to get a whole nother base of kids because we'll be able to kind of grow it a little bit more every year. But thanks for growing with us.
I want to thank all of our speakers for participating in today's event, and I want to go back to something Steve said, and he was talking about the idea that in our homes, we open our cupboards and we see food, and we become so accustomed to that it's hard for us to sometimes think outside our bubble and to consider those families that open the cupboard and find that it's bare. And that was all of you offered such great and meaningful comments, and we really appreciate it so much. But I think part of what we're trying to do here today is to open San Diego's consciousness to our neighbors down the street, to the kids who go to our kids' school, to the people in our faith communities, to the people in our YMCAs, in our Boys and Girls Clubs, and in our neighborhoods, that there are people right in front of us, right in our own communities, right in our own schools, who are struggling with food insecurity in every community across San Diego County. This summer, we want to make sure that no children are going hungry because they lack access to school breakfast or school lunch. This summer, we are dedicating ourselves to providing over 1 million meals to San Diego youth to solve that hunger challenge. The good news is that we are able to turn a $1 contribution into 4 complete nutritious meals. So in order for us to meet that 1 million meal goal, we have to raise $250,000. And I believe that this community, I believe that San Diego can do this. I believe that San Diego can help Feeding San Diego deliver those 1 million meals to youth. Already across the county, there are law firms participating in our Food from the Bar Challenge who are raising money amongst the legal community. And that's just one example of what people are doing to help us meet this important goal for summer meals. There might be people listening to this broadcast saying, well, what can I do? Well, you can do 4 things. You can come to feedingsandiego.org and you can make a contribution to help us toward that 1 million meal goal. And you can do that online, and you can do it in minutes. Any contribution of any size is going to help us to achieve that goal. Secondly, you can volunteer through our website. 16,000 San Diegans per year come into this very building and help us to fulfill our mission, and we invite you and your friends, neighbors, faith communities, and companies to join in that process. Third is that you can donate food, and people show up at our door every day with healthy, nutritious, shelf-stable, canned, and boxed goods to help us distribute to the community. And fourth, and most importantly, is you can do what our guests here today are doing, which is become advocates on this issue. Help us to educate the community about the fact that there are 127,000 children right here in San Diego County struggling with food insecurity. Help us to tell the community that we not only want to address the problem, we want to solve the problem. That Feeding San Diego has a plan to address and solve the problem of child nutrition through the summer months. The only thing missing between our plan and solving the problem of child nutrition is your participation. Everybody who's hearing this message can do something, and we invite you, we ask you, we implore you to help us to fulfill this mission. I want to thank all of you who are here today for this press conference. I want to thank our distinguished panelists who joined us in helping to express from a variety of standpoints the importance of addressing child nutrition and ending hunger in the community. Together, we can solve this problem because all the resources that we need are already right here in the county. Think about that. We have enough food in San Diego County every day to feed everybody that lives in this county. It's just that 30 to 40% of the food here goes to waste. Feeding San Diego is really committed to ending food waste and to taking food while it is still nutritious and healthy and delicious and delivering it to families in need instead of delivering it to a landfill. That's what the mission of this organization is, and through your participation, through your financial contributions, through your volunteerism, and through your advocacy, you can help make that possible. Thank you all so very, very much for being here today.